I'm painting abstract acrylic Little Mermaid.
With the picture being an abstract representation of Ariel from Disney's Little Mermaid, I chose to leave out her face and instead drew some of the main parts of her costume. I started with her shell top, then her tummy, and the little ruffle that starts off her mermaid fishtail. I drew 2 fishy flippers and an extra shell in the corner. Then I drew in flowing lines for her hair. For her tummy, I mixed yellow ochre, burnt sienna, a tiny bit of deep red, and white. The shells are painted in violet. I started by blocking in all of the colours, before then adding a second coat.
My first idea was the picture was going to be really abstract, that it was going to be chunks of different colours from the Little Mermaid, but part of the painting turned into just being her midsection.
I used a mix of iridium green, cerulean blue and ultramarine and experimented with the balance for her flippers until I was happy with this teal colour. I mixed in white and painted a lighter version of the teal for her fins and her ruffle. Using the right colours was really important to me for this painting. I wanted you to be able to recognise the character even just from the colours. I used a deep red for her hair. I didn't water down or use any extra liquids with the acrylic, so it stayed nice and thick. While the paint was still wet, I went over all of the sections of the painting with white acrylic to add interest and tone. I made all of the blocked-in sections lighter in the middle and darker around the edges. It takes quite a lot of blending with the acrylic, but the paint was nice and thick, which stopped it drying too quickly.
There's a lot of red in this picture on the Little Mermaid, and I need to try and blend in some whites and darks to get the shading right, just to break it up a little bit. I do want the focus to be on the purple of the shell and the green of her fishy tail.
Because the acrylic paint stayed wet, it meant that I could keep moving the paint around, but at the same time, it makes it difficult to sometimes keep a darker or lighter colour on top of the paint, because every time you paint something on, it blends back in. Because of this, if you want to paint details in, it can be better to wait for the acrylic paint to dry and then paint a new layer on top. When the paint was all dry, I used Promarkers to go over the edges of each section. I used black and berry red to draw flowing lines across the hair section. I used a dark blue colour to outline the mermaid fins, a dark violet for the shell outline, and a darker flesh colour to go around her tummy.
The main thing is the colours, and they are quintessentially Little Mermaid colours.
I added in details on the ruffles and fins. I hope watching this abstract acrylic painting should give you some ideas if you're a beginner looking to find out more about how to paint in acrylics or to paint anything Disney.
Varnishing a painting makes an absolutely enormous difference.
Sometimes if you've used a liquid to improve flow on acrylic, some parts can be shinier than others and it's distracting when you look at the painting. Using varnish means that you get a nice, glossy, even finish.
So that's it. I'm all finished with the abstract acrylic painting based off of Ariel and the Little Mermaid. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, then you can try out some more of our videos with other similar Disney princesses and characters. Thanks for watching.